have to watch. There's ants in this area. So again, no tilther. Look at the size of some of these twigs here. Okay? And as I talked about, this finer stuff starts to work its way down throughout the growing of this bed. This is all we're going to use. It's good. Trust me, it works. I've used it before. I'm going to use a combination of raking and putting a thin layer of compost over the top. All right, there you go. It's that easy, right? Do you need a tilther? Hell no. Enjoy the rest of the video. We'll come back in a little bit and we'll have some final. Let's talk about today's video. I think it's really simple to start your own home garden, farm, homestead, and I wanted to show everyone how simple it could be. Now, I'm working in my food forest, so over the last 3+ years, I've taken the typical Florida Zone 9B sandy soil and I've amended in or applied layers upon layers, usually twice a year, of tree mulch. And that's broken down and turned into compost. And what's really cool about it is the finer particles, as they break down, work their way down into the sandy soil, and on top it starts to look like a lot of twigs and shredded pieces of branches. It's a great way to start to establish a healthier soil. So you're going to have good drainage below with the sandy soil. Now you're starting to build your layer of compost. Now what I'm doing is I want to see how it works by applying a layer of compost. Again, it's tree matter compost, and I'm going to go with about whatever the width of that is. I'm going to say close to 12 inches. So again, this is to show the average homeowner that this is doable in your backyard. And again, I've said many times, you don't have to start out big. You could start small, and I've advocated for a 30-inch bed. That's ideal for a lot of the market garden tools. But now we're going to talk about what would be ideal for the home grower. Most of you already have one of these metal rakes, and I'm going to use this to establish the width of my bed. And I've already started to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and continue applying the compost all the way up until the front of, not this avocado, the next one. And by the way, I did trim those. I gave them what's called a hard trim. If they survive, they survive. But I wanted to plant in the understory. This is a great area to grow. And I'm going to continue about 12 inches all the way up to the second avocado, the small one. I'll come back a little later. I'll show you the 30-inch bed I established in front of it and what I have planted there. So let me go ahead and finish getting the compost down. I'll show you how I'm going to mend it with fertilizer and rake it in with this rake. So again, no tilther. I talked about that. Do you really need one? Yeah, I was joking around, said you ought to go out and get one, but if you're just starting out, it's all you're going to need. So, all right. Okay, I want to just take a minute just to talk about the compost. Okay, so again, I said it's tree matter, but it's been sifted. Let me try and get a good representation of what we got going on here. So you see all the twigs, you have the broken down matter, but look at the size of some of these twigs here, okay? And as I talked about, this finer stuff starts to work its way down, and then you're left with the thicker matter left up top. And that's the beauty of this. It almost creates a hard barrier for weeds to come through. And while we're on the note of weeds, when you have a weed in this type of organic matter, it pulls right out, root and all. So it's very easy to maintain a weed-free, no-till garden. I'm getting ready to now amend in my organic fertilizer. And again, I've talked about this. You don't have to go out and get the Never Sink blend, which I prefer, but I'm going to show you we can use this. So throughout the growing of this bed, this is all we're going to use. Right there, available at the big box stores. Now, let's see if we can get a close-up here. It's a little more granular, but it has pretty much the same ingredients. So, it's good. Trust me, it works. I've used it before. Let me go ahead and apply this, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to amend it in. I'm going to use a combination of raking and putting a thin layer of compost over the top. All right, we'll come back in a minute. All right, there you go. It's that easy, right? Do you need a tilther? Hell no. Is it a good tool to have? Hell yes. Put your compost down, get some fertilizer, amend it in, and you're ready for planting. That'll be the next video. However, let's take a minute and talk about what's in this. It's derived from feather meal, poultry manure, bone meal, alfalfa meal, green sand, sulfate of potash, and sulfate of potash magnesium. It's got approximately 2.2 slow release nitrogen, and it's from the feather meal, poultry manure, bone meal, and alfalfa meal. All right, now the breakdown, it's a 3-4-4. 3% total nitrogen, 4% phosphate, 4% potash. It has 5% calcium, 1% magnesium, 2% of sulfur. It's good stuff. I'm telling you, it's going to work. I'm going to plant up the center of this bed. As I say, that's the subject of the next video. I'll plant up the center. I'm thinking of doing broccoli. We love broccoli. And in the front, I will interplant. I think I'm going to run carrots here. I'm going to grab the camera and I'm going to show you what I've planted in my 30-inch bed up front. If you recall, that's where the sweet potatoes were growing. And before that, it was cantaloupe. So I'm going to show you how I planted up that bed. Again, it's 30 inches. Fits my tools I have, but I did want to demonstrate you can do this. And if you follow the techniques I've just shown you, you're going to be successful from first time attempting to grow anything. Now, you have to be mindful of what you're planting, the type of season. I'm also going to disconnect my automatic sprinkler system in these areas, and I'm only going to hand water, again, to show you that's all you need. All right? So, thanks for watching. I'll see you in about a week with planting of this particular bed. And let's just take a quick look at my 30-inch bed. All right. Oh, by the way, while I'm on that subject, reach out to Pete at Green Dreams He's got a nursery, all edible landscaping, compost you can pick up. There is a minimum order. He is scheduled to open up a retail nursery soon. It's on Highway 41. Stay tuned for that. But he can set you up, hook you up with your compost, everything you need to get started. All right, let's take a look at that other bed. There's a close-up. All right, there's two different types. Mostly I used out of the big bag. By the way, these are available in 8 pounds and I believe 22 pounds. All right, here we are. We're ready for planting. All right, now, this is what's left of my Greek oregano. We'll see if it salvages. I did start to cut back my Fakahatchee grass, and once I get some Mexican sunflower, I'll put the Mexican sunflower and then put that grass on top, and again, we'll get more from here. Now, as I said, let's talk about this 30-inch bed. I've got Florida pumpkin up the center. Now, that's going to vine out, so it will lay down. In between, I planted some Happy Rich broccoli. Shout out to Jim Kovaleski. He turned Stacy and I onto this. We paid him a visit, and he let us sample it. Man, it was excellent. It's sweet. We eat it raw in our salads. Then as I come up front, I started to interplant my beets. So again, I'm doing some pretty intensive growing here, and I hope by the time these vine out, my Happy Rich broccoli will stick out above it. So we'll see how that works out. Now, I'm going to go back and start to apply my tree mulch all the way around. And yes, our fence needs cleaning. I just got yelled at by Stacy. But I'm going to come back now and get some of that tree mulch from my son Gerald's property. He just had the tree guys dump, maybe another 20 to 40 yards. I haven't been there yet. But there you have it, all right? It's that easy. All right, stay tuned. We'll keep you updated. All right, I know you're probably wondering. There's just a quick peek. And yes, Pete, I still need a 25-gallon pot to pot up that fig tree. There's how it's looking. I think I counted yesterday. I have over 20 tomato plants. I've got some cucumber, eggplants, bell pepper, Carmen peppers. I have lots of beets interplanted as well as direct sowed as well as carrots. Swiss chard, kale, collard greens. So stay tuned for future updates.